Hello?
Hey, Coach, I'm outside of your building right now.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna come down and get you, all right?
Makes sense.
Nice
Josh.
to meet you. Good.
Nice to
Come,
meet
Josh.
you.
Come on in, Josh.
Nice to meet you. It's a little hot outside, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I'm Josh Williams with Janesh, and yeah, I got the pink suit on. But I'm here with Coach Richardson. I'm on WSSU, Winston Salem State University. Their beautiful campus. It's a beautiful downtown, beautiful scenery, beautiful field. I checked it out. Got a peek of it earlier. Beautiful facilities. But yeah, I'm here with the recruiting coordinator, Coach Richardson, and he's here, to kind of give us some insight on what's the bottom line of recruiting. I worked hard for this, guys, and Coach was so like helpful with me. Like, he just kind of embraced me, and I appreciate that. But I'm not going to talk anymore. Here he is, Coach Richardson, and he's here. He's an open book, so he agreed to answer any questions that we have. So listen up.
Good evening, guys. On behalf of Coach Bull, our head football coach, again, I want to welcome you guys to the campus of Winston-Salem State University, and we're looking forward to helping you all with any information that you may have. Okay, we're always open. We're always willing to help someone. So any questions you may have, then we're ready to fire away.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. First, what is the ideal Winston-Salem State University recruit look like? What separates him from the average high school football player?
Well, in most cases, in order to be able to be recruited by us, you first have to be ready and prepared academically. That's the number one thing, because the number one reason why you're in college is to gain an education, and maybe most of you may already be, but to get an education.
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing. Now, education can also mean a lot of things. From your experience with athletics, you learn, because you learn a lot of things in life that maybe a lot of people don't learn.
Yeah.
Athletics allows you to learn, get knocked down, get back up. It teaches you how to communicate with people, and in most cases people you don't know, but you end up learning them. It teaches you leadership. It teaches you, again, how to deal with people and talk with people from many different facets of life. So you guys are very fortunate. If you're in athletics, you're very fortunate to be able to be in athletics, because this is one of the better learning experiences that people are going to have. To answer your question, the typical Winston-Salem State recruit, because a lot of our guys are very good players out of high school, but again, academics is the number one thing. But he's a good football player. He has been, in most cases, well taught in terms of what football is about. He is a hard worker. He is a person that aspires to be better than what he is at the present. And he's a guy that we think that can come in and contribute immediately to our program in some form or fashion. And of course, he's a guy that we count on to be a good person. So I think that's what our typical athlete looks like.
That makes sense to me. You kind of just wrapped it up. I had the notion that that's exactly what you guys were looking for. The part about being a good person is big on college coaches, because they don't want guys coming in here jacking up the reputation. That looks bad on them, even if they don't even play that much. I see it at Guilford. If a guy doesn't play that much and he's running around on Fridays, Saturdays, nights, resident advisors, saying he's causing trouble, that looks bad on the head coach.
Absolutely.
So, I totally agree. I agree with everything you just said. I kind of want to break some stereotypes with you. We have, in the recruiting world, we have these perceptions that, we need to get exposure from, these places like Rivals, ScottDelk.com, or I think it's 247 Sports, it's places like that. So how much does that weigh on you getting to know who your recruits are? Do you guys check that at all? Or
we do use a lot of the media, what is the word I wanted to use? The multimedia now. We use that because it allows us to get access to guys well away from here, from outside of the Winston-Salem area, that we may not would have to have. It has allowed us to streamline our recruiting areas, and now we don't have to exhaust as much transportation, hotels, and things like that. It allows us to cut down on what our expenses are. In addition, it allows us just to be able to get, again, a large number of recruits that we can actually gain from. So the more people we see, the more opportunities we have to try to pick really good football players. So those outlets have been really, really good for us, because now I can sit in my office and I can look at 100 student athletes a day.
Yeah.
As long as they're on one of those multimedia outlets, you know, like Huddle, for instance.
Okay, Huddle.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just an example. And some of the other examples that you gave me are the same.
Okay.
So this technological world has allowed us to be able to cover a whole lot of area that normally would take us a lot of time to do or cost us more expense.
Okay. Okay, so a follow-up to that. So when you do have the huddles and you do, you are scouting your players, if they are talked highly on by rivals per se, they have maybe a 3-star, rating. Will that weigh in more to you? Is that like a extra notch under their belt, as far as you recruiting them, or is it, is it still an equal playing field? Like, will you still go watch them on Friday nights and judge the player, or because he has that 3-star rating, he automatically gets a step?
Well, the 3-star rating would pique our interest.
Okay.
But again, it's still, even at this point, it's still all about film.
Okay.
It's all about film and what we see on film. So whether the guy's a 3-star or he's not a star at all, if his name comes up to us through recommendation from his high school coach or from someone, every guy who is on Huddle or any other media outlet, it allows us to be able to see them, actually critique them, and see. And it's even better because generally, when we go to see a game, that's one game, and that's and that's only one. But now by doing the multimedia thing that we have, we can see him multiple times.
Yeah.
If I want to see him 3 or 4 times on film, Huddle and some of those other outlets allow me to see him.
Okay.
So now it gives me a better chance to evaluate him. So I know if now I have the margin of error of making a mistake on a possible player, it's not as much because I get a chance to look at him over and over and over and over. So it's important for guys, and most high school players now, or most football players, we put it that way because we like to do a lot of junior college guys too. Yeah. Again, them putting themselves on those kinds of things allow them to get a better look with us.
I definitely understand that. Yeah, this technology is crazy.
If it is, yes it is.
Well, this is my last question. I told you I won't be before you long. What are some true, intangibles that you guys just look for? I know you mentioned hard work earlier, but like, what are some intangibles? Like you mentioned, being a good person. That's big for you guys. What are some things that you would want to see in an athlete? Not just a guy you're recruiting, but what do you think is a good attribute for an athlete to have? Is it humble? What is it?
One of the biggest things that I like to see in a student, I like to see what his work ethic is.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if he has the work ethic and he has a goal that he aspires to get to, then he's going to work hard.
Yeah, to get there.
To get there, and that's important because at our level, it's all about, and it's at any level, I guess, about whether a guy wants to get better or not. Does he want to maximize his potential? That's big because again, at the level where we are, guys, again, everybody's almost good. Everybody's good. At some point, somewhere down the line, everyone is good. So again, that's important to us to see that a guy is a hard worker, that a guy wants to get better, because that's what we need for him to again be as good as he can be. Because we're going to play against really very good personnel of other guys who will also be trying to be as good as they can be.
Yeah, I definitely get that. Yeah, that's amazing, and I think that's one thing that athletes have. This is off topic, but I think that's one thing that athletes have over the regular citizen. We have goals. We're pushed by our coaches every single day, and eventually it starts to turn into our own goals of what we want to do. All conference start. So like I think that's what we have. Beat over regular citizens. So that's one thing I agree with you with. But that's it for me. Did you have anything else that you wanted to speak about, or anything about the culture? What do you guys what do you guys want to be known for? Something.
Well,
anything.
We're known for winning.
Yeah, of course. Couple championships.
That's what we are, and again we have high expectations for guys who want to come and be a part of this. What we are, and I think that's something that again. That should be at every place, at every level. It probably is that guys have high expectations for themselves, but also they have to have high expectations for the program.
Okay.
And I think people have to understand, particularly guys who want to be great, if they have high expectations for themselves, that's one thing. But if they want to see the program succeed, that's even better. And we can succeed if everyone's thinking program.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking program, then you may be all right for yourself, but you want to help the program, and it's all, at the end of the day, it's all about team.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. When I got to college, man, I done switched positions a couple times. But one thing my coach would always say, man, is I appreciate you. He would never, kind of switch my position and just leave me alone. He would always come back to it and say, Josh, I understand that you're doing this for the team. You understand what's best for the team. And sometimes, to get the same goal that everybody else wants, to buy into the program, you have to make sacrifices. I know you have dreams, of being like, on NFL, ESPN, Sports Center, but like, you gotta, open up your mind. It's bigger people than you, it's bigger things than you. The coaches have actual goals. So there's no more of that superstar stuff when you come to college. You have to actually, buy into the program. When you commit to that team, it's literally about that team. It's not about you anymore. That's one thing, I want to harp to my high school guys. So
Yeah, when we're talking about high school guys, and they have aspirations of going to college or going to a higher level of play.
Yeah.
My opinion and what I want to give them is when you find out that you have some talent.
Yeah.
Then one, make use of that talent. Because that talent can get you to somewhere else where you need to get to in life. Okay. Second, it may be in early on, 7th, 8th grade. I mean, of course, have fun, things like that with it. When you get into 9th grade, you got to try treating it like a business.
Yeah, we missed that though.
You have to treat it like a business. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, you got to start worrying about getting your grades, because without getting good grades, you're never going to see the college level. Be prepared for your test. Again, try to be the best person you can be. Don't get yourself any problems and things like that you may regret or may keep you from going to the next level in terms of your athletic career. So you have to treat it like a business. It's going to be fun, but it's going to take. If you want it to take you somewhere, then you've got to treat it like a business, and you're going to have to handle yourself like a business. Because again, when recruiters approach you, they're going to want to know who you are, what you're about. Are you handling the business that will allow you to be recruited? Which means take SATs, ACTs, do well in your classes, things like that. Get a great GPA, because all of that is required these days by the NCAA in order for you to be able to make the next level. And again, as I say to a lot of guys, when you want to be recruited, when recruiters come to see you, remember this, and this is why I say treat it like a business. We all have a pocket full of money, which means, that all of us, every recruiter that comes in has scholarship money in his pocket to offer. And my thought process is, if you know that they all have a pocket full of money and they try to give out scholarship money, why not get your piece of it?